Good afternoon. This is your Pan-African show called Africa with your host Qetselawork Seifu. I have a special show today. As you know, we've always showed plants on all of our shows. Today we have chosen to go to a gardener's house and actually record our show from there. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Seblewongel Mekonnen. I do plants, I do seeds, seedlings, and compost, fertilizers. Also, as you see, rabbits. Yeah. So I do all types of gardening work. We do grasses, starting from seeds or actual grass planting. That's about it.
So now that you've told us who Sebele is, I'm going to take you back before Sebele became, you know, a green thumb gardener. I would like to ask how you made your way into this. Like, how did you grow up, school? How did you get into gardening? What was the first thing that you did that made you feel like this was your calling?
A different story, by the way. Coming to the gardening is a different story. I was raised in Catholic school, Cathedral. I went there until the 10th grade. Then 11 and 12, I went to Magic Carpet. Then I went to Addis Ababa University Journalism School. Then I did some course in Ethiopian Airlines, ticketing courses. But I was working as a ticket office salesperson, different places. But when it comes to the gardening, I learned it from my husband.
Okay.
So he's an agro businessman. He consults a lot of farms, a lot of NGOs. So when I was traveling with him to a lot of farms, I was getting more interested in farming, all aspects of plant, but specifically in ornamental plants.
Okay.
I focused on that. Then I fully focused on the plants. I had a shop, now it's closed by COVID. So I had a shop selling all kinds of herbs, medicinal herbs, tea herbs, different kind of herbs. So now I do everything, vegetables and everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're telling me that your husband actually introduced
this. Yeah.
So before I get into the answer and question part, I'd like to know, because you said ornamental plants. If you could tell us the difference between the plants, like what do you mean by ornamental plants?
Ornamental plants are this.
Okay.
For example, this cactus, this poinsettia, that one, this lily. These are
ornamental.
For the use of decoration.
Okay.
And for the use, some actually use for like good breathing, collecting the dust. Some are air purifiers.
So these are good for indoor plants.
Yes, indoor plants.
Okay.
Outdoor as well. That's the ornamental.
So going into our questions. So my first one would be, I noticed you go by Sebele Lady.
Yeah.
Sebele Lady plant, actually.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how you came up with that idea? I mean, it's not.
Because I'm a lady.
Yeah, I know, right?
So lady plant, 8 years old maybe now. So I started, as I told you earlier, because of my husband. I was inspired going to farms with him, seeing different countries, different farms, different farmers, different gardeners. So that's how it started. Our shop used to be around gazebo here, but because of COVID, we did finish it. So that's the story of Lady Plant. And we're doing in and out of gardening. We do the grasses. We did a lot of factories.
Okay.
A lot of restaurants, houses, apartments. So 8 years is a lot of time. So we did a lot of work. Yeah.
It is. That's a commitment.
Yes.
Are there any specific crops or plants that are well suited for urban and apartment gardening?
The ornamental plants. Also, you can do your herbs, small veggies for your apartment in the balcony.
Okay.
So there are indoor and outdoor plants. So the outdoor plants, you can have your herbs, like your teas, your sauce things, the herbs that can make you that can make soup, different for your cooking.
Yeah.
Actually good for kitchen, also medicinal, and your veggies as well. You can have a small pots. You can plant salad there. You can plant your chili there. You can plant your tomato there. This you can do.
How often should we water different types of plants.
It's different.
I know, and this is the thing.
It's different as a plant.
I know, and this is the other thing, because unfortunately fortunately I've moved into an apartment, so I have a feeling the way you plant in a garden is different than how you would water your plants in an apartment. So if you could kind of give us...
Yeah, so to get, when you plant by a pot, obviously you need more treatment for the plants because they're not on the ground. They're on the pot, they're limited of getting compost, the soil and everything. So you should treat them more. But as I told you first, it depends on the plant. The cactus type, succulents, you just water them maybe twice a week or once a week. But when you go to some of the herbs, for example, let's say basil, it doesn't need too much water, but it doesn't need less water. It's a very confusing plant to grow, as you know it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a very good question. You went to basil, because now would be a great time to say, when you touch the soil, maybe that's the way we know when to water them.
Yes, Some plants, when you see that it's completely dry, some palms, some palms, when it's completely dry, you water it. Okay. Before that, you just don't have to. Okay. Some plants, you see them, they get yellowish or something, you water it like that. Okay. So it's different as the plants. Even from herbs, I can it's very different. I mean, 11 types of herbs and 11 types of behavior.
What are some low maintenance plants that are ideal for beginners?
Low maintenance, we can use snake plants, we can use spider plants, rubber tree as well. Rubber plant, you can put it indoor, it collects dust. Monstera, peace lily, we do that. They're effective for air purifying as well. Good for health when they're indoor. And also very low maintenance. Okay. Maybe lily might be a bit high, but the ones I told you are more like succulents, you just don't water them regularly.
Do you recommend us as gardeners, or as, people that love plants, pest control? Should we be using pest control, or
chemical?
Should we?
No.
Exactly. No. So is there like an organic
pest control? Totally. I am against it, but for your indoor plants, for your outdoor plants, you can treat them, you can trim them. When something is happening, you can trim them, you can cut off the sickness. Yeah. Other than using a chemical, because you're gonna breathe it, you're gonna eat some of it, you're gonna have tea from it. So I'm against it, and I have my own compost to treat my plants. I recommend making compost.
How can we incorporate sustainable and organic gardening practices?
They can start from seedling. They can start from a bigger plant, then go on by treating it. And if they start by small seedlings, for example, this was seedling.
Yes.
From seed. From seed, we put it to this tray, then to here, then to the bigger pot. Okay. So as simple as that.
It has 3 different stages,
yes, basically. They do their fertilizer, compost, homemade is better, from your kitchen pest.
Wait, we're going to get into that.
Yeah. So we do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is how they do it. I mean, they can start with simpler objects like the water bottles and everything. It doesn't have to be fancy, Right. They can use it at the back garden. For your front garden, there are many DIY things
that you can
actually the one we make, the one we sell, the wooden things, the rock pots. They can do that. But for the beginners, for them to grow from the scratch, from the seed, is very hard, a bit. But from seedling, it's easier. There are many places selling seedlings nowadays. Right. Not that much of vegetables and fruits and everything, but there are seedlings.
How can I improve the soil quality in my garden? So this brings us to the compost. So now we need to know how we, whether it's in an apartment or whether it's in the garden, how we actually make our compost.
We make our compost using soil and anything organic that we eat. Throw away the tomatoes, the peel of banana, the eggshell. They're very good components to do that. And everything, the vegetables, every throw away.
Let's take it to an apartment.
Yeah.
Because now...
Okay, if you're an apartment, you should have like a container.
Yeah.
But it should be very tight to close it so that it get fermented inside and very effective when you start to putting it in your garden. So you put your soil, you put your vegetable extracts or whatever, your leftover of your kitchens, everything you drink.
Organic, we have to make
organic, yeah. It's better be organic, or else you can use the chemical one, which is not acceptable. If it's an apartment, use a container. If you have a ground, use a ground. Then like completely cover it up. Cover it up so that it get fermented and it's gonna be more effective.
How long does it take?
Months.
Minimum?
Months.
Couple of months?
Yeah.
Okay.
The more,
so each time
it's like a wine. So the older
it gets, the better it
yeah,
becomes.
the older the better. Yeah.
What are the best practices for pruning different types of plants?
Best practice is to prune the dead leaves.
Dead leaves.
Yeah.
Start by the dead leaves.
Yes.
How can I create a sustainable and eco-friendly garden?
You can balance between your green plants and the flowers. For example, yours is an apartment, right? So you can have your lining with flowers, the balcony. Your apartment is actually full of plants, as far as I know. So you can balance it first with the flowers, then your herbs, then your indoor plant. Can be the collection of the air purifier plants. Okay. There are no like maybe 10.
None of those flower, do they?
No. Indoor plants usually don't flower.
Don't flower.
Because they need the sunlight. They need the outside air. Some specific and like maybe some plants. Maybe. That's a
like
maybe.
The lily is...
Yes, lily.
Even though it's not
it's high
bright
maintenance
color,
plant, by the way.
I know.
Very
I have one
maintenance,
and I'm having a hard time.
I know.
Yeah.
It does have like this kind of things come out of it. So you trim it and it goes good. And sometimes like it gets yellow.
Okay.
I mean, it's very high maintenance for indoor, but that's how you do it.
Can you suggest any companion planting combinations that work together? This is something, by the way, I've always had a hard time. It's like, do certain plants have to go with certain plants, or can you just have different plants put into one pot?
Yeah, some plants needs more water. So when you put two together, some will take their nutrients in the water. Some are high low maintenance, but me, for example, let me tell you, I do rubber and pothos. I do lily and pothos.
Okay.
And I do monstera and pothos. Pothos is my favorite plant.
Obviously.
So when I put two plants together, for example, if I have to use this one, I can use pothos here. So it's going to be hanging and climbing. So I can use my pot for 2-3 plants.
Okay.
That go together. For me, that's
it's easier.
Practicable.
It's yes. You already know
low maintenance plants with low maintenance plants, high maintenance plants with high maintenance plants.
Okay, that's a better way of explaining. Perfect. Thank you. Are there any common mistakes that gardeners should avoid?
For example, overwatering can kill a plant. The hardest plant we explained earlier, the basil.
Yes.
Everyone that has basil died in this past rainy season. So that's it. And
so basil does not like a lot of water.
Basil does not like too much fertilizer. Also kills some plants.
Okay.
And like cutting it as you wish. That is also a killer. And cutting right away after you repot it. For example, I am repotting this today. This is a tomato.
Yeah.
So after I put it in the other pot, in a bigger pot or in the ground, I don't have to touch it right away. It have to stay. It have to get used to the soil.
Okay.
The ground or the pot.
Wherever
so you don't have to prune it. You don't have to cut it right away. You don't have to cut like this. And also
you should never cut with your fingers.
And also when you repot, you just put the soil, including the roots, just like holding it just like this, and right away to the pot. You don't have to like take this
take
off
it out
like
that.
It's gonna die.
Can you recommend any traditional Ethiopian herbs or medicinal plants that can be grown in an apartment or in a garden?
We can do rue, we can do nana, we can do damakse, we can do kosarat. This I recommend. Okay. Actually, there are many herbs and plants. Also, indigenous Ethiopia, there are like more than 800 something plants. So for me, as you say, for an apartment, I can mention the 3.
Can you recommend any local resources or organizations that provide support or guidance for Ethiopian gardeners? Like, do you get any support is basically the question.
I didn't. Starting from the beginning, I didn't. Still, I don't. I'm just supporting myself. Even now, I have a shortage of places, as you see. Or my plants are inside my house, either on the way or in the parking space. So for me, I don't know. But like I know there are some organizations, when they see your plan, when they see your proposal, that helps support beginner gardeners, beginner farmers. Yeah, that exists. But for me, I didn't use that at all. I'm just
Is there a reason why you don't use those?
Actually, I tried one or two, but it
didn't work.
It didn't work.
My last question actually is going to be, now we have noticed that our city has taken that green look, right?
Yeah.
So in every area we go, we have a better view of our city.
Yes.
But as a person that is in that field, I would like to know, is this sustainable? Because the gardens and everything, I know that's sustainable. But when we have plants in the middle of the roads, because I know there are certain areas that are planted, are big trees, and therefore now they're becoming hazardous because they actually get so wide that they fall into the highways.
Yes, you're right, it's getting green, you're right, it's getting beautiful, but from my perspective, for example, for the Bole Road, the metal thing, I don't know why, and what's the purpose they did that there. I don't know, it's about design or anything, but it's unnecessary to put a metal taking out a good plant. First, that's the mistake I saw. And some places, they're very well organized. They know that what goes outdoor, what goes indoor, what goes this way, what's healthy, what's beneficial, what's harmful. They know it. But some places, it's just unorganized, no pattern. Even to look at, it's not even, let alone me, for you to look at, for any other person that doesn't have any knowledge about plants, for them to look at. It's not even, it's not even
pleasant.
Yeah, it's not pleasant to look at.
So do you think actually people that are in the plant industry, in the farming, in the, I don't even know what to say,
actually,
how to
they're
even...
not the ones working, most of them.
Okay, so that's where the mistake is. They don't incorporate the advices of...
Yes, the one that are knowledgeable, I don't see them anywhere working there.
So...
Some are working actually.
But obviously not in places that are...
Not in every place, not in everywhere, not in every project.
I like the fact that you picked Bole, because Bole is an area that a lot of people travel on.
Yes, it's the way to Africa Union, it's the way to everything.
The whole city, exactly. Yes. So, at this point, as somebody that works on flowers, as a gardener, and this is your last thought that you are actually giving to our people to say, this is how we're supposed to do what we are doing. Because I don't want to say advice, but since you've been doing this for a while, you have a few good advice that you could give. Yes.
So, in general, for Bole, for example, there should be something pleasant to look at. We took away a lot of
good trees,
expensive trees. Expensive mean in a plant world, it means like it took you years to grow. So why do take it out and put a metal box and like put something plastic on the top of it and plant some flowers that are seasonal? The other mistake that I saw is seasonal. They put seasonal plants. They should put perennial plants.
And perennial are?
Yes, the flowers. It's the same flowers.
But they're yearly.
But
the yearly flowers.
The seasonal plants, have you seen them dying? They all dried up at some point. That's the mistake. So as long as you're doing that big of a project, you should be prepared. You should know what goes on there, what to do, what to put, how to treat, and what not to put. Just don't put a yellow flower just because you need a yellow flower. That doesn't go that way. So that's my advice.
Perfect. Sabla is going to show us from seedling. She's going to show us how to plant a seed. And from there, all the different stages.
This is the cocoa pit or pit moss, the extract of the cover of the coconut. It's very helpful for the plants, especially starting from seeds
Where did you get that?
We import this because we don't have a coconut here.
Exactly. When you said coconut, I was like,
We
wait a
import
minute.
it. This is how it's imported. Then it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be mixed with water and some organic compost, liquid. Then we will do this. Then we'll put the soil here. Actually, this bag is used, so I can easily use this. You scatter the soil like this. So you put your seeds. I don't really need you to use gloves now. So you put your seeds. We have, example, we have eggplants here. This is also the cocoa pit.
Oh, okay. That actually,
yes.
That's a nicer, smaller piece.
Yes. So let's use this, the eggplant. We'll have the seeds here. One of each seed here.
So do you put one per?
Yes.
Per,
yes. One each.
But
this is a seedling tray. We call it a seedling tray. It's used for obviously seedlings.
Yeah. But my question is, sometimes some seeds are dead. Could I say that?
Yeah. So it depends on the germination rate and the humidity, everything.
So wouldn't it be better to put 2 seeds in one? No.
No. You just put 1 seed. It's enough tray already.
Okay.
So you put each one. You put the cocoa pit. Sometimes you cover it with the plastic. Sometimes you don't.
Depending on the weather.
Depends on the seeds. Depends on the weather.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do that for then after the seedlings come from here, like the seedling grow like this. This is example chili.
Oh,
see?
okay.
See the chili from seed it became like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is
this is what.
Yeah. This is the cabbage, also. So from seeds they're gonna grow like this. Okay. And also we have.
So at what point do you take it out of this tray to put it into?
1 month. After a month, after they grow like this, this is enough. This is over matured, so you put it here.
It is.
Yes, and from here, we take it out from here and put it in different kinds of plastics. The size that doesn't matter.
Okay.
But this will over mature also. So we have this here, tomato. This I have to plant it to another pot now.
To a bigger one.
A bigger pot. That's how.
Only because here it becomes.
Yeah.
It's constrained.
Yes, then it's gonna die. Yeah. Okay. It cannot stay longer, like not that much long in this container.
Okay.
So that's it. And this is the grafting pruning scissor. No, it's not assembled, but let me just show you. This is the material to prune.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be careful. Yes. Is the plants that are the sick plant amongst the healthier ones has to always be.
Yes. First, you put them in a different place, find out what's the sickness, it can be healed or not. If not, you just cut it away.
Okay.
So these are seeds. For example, this is an okra seed. We also have seeds to sell. But usually people take seedling because it's very hard for them to grow.
To grow from the seeds, yeah.
So they said seedling like this. This is very easy.
So that's why you actually do
these
yes. To be able to sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
For vegetables, for herbs, we do that.
Okay.
And these are the different kinds of herbs. So these are my herbs.
Okay.
Actually, me using for cooking, for the medicinal purpose. This is rue.
Yep.
This is the besobla, you know it. Rosemary and the vicks, nana, lemon verbena. It's my favorite.
Yes, that's my favorite.
One, yeah. And also the other mints. The peppermint we have, the green mint, pineapple mint, we have it there. That's kosarat, pineapple mint as well.
And this is dill, right?
Yeah. We call it insalal in Ethiopia.
Insalal.
We call it insalal.
Where's the...
So that's the herbs. We have a kosarat, local, most of them are local herbs. We have the lavender here and the curly parsley here. This is the parsley type, but curly one.
Yes.
This is oregano. There you go. This is thyme. This is thyme.
Nice.
So maybe here we have like 20, 25 herbs for now. We have in another place some plants. that didn't come here. So the indoor and outdoor plants are also in the shade greenhouse. Here, the one I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is the spider plant I told you, the low maintenance and good for air purifying. It's common. Okay. And that's snake plant. And this is the ponytail palm, kind of a palm. Also, this is palm. It grows tall, but indoor.
It's an indoor, wow.
It can grow indoor. And also we have the ficuses, different types of ficus, the mango ficus, the Benjamin ficus, lemon ficus, cactuses. Here we have also cactuses. Also we have wine here. This is wine. And the collection here are like Ficus lariata, the palm, the other type of palm, the aloe vera, the diffa bunch, and sea lily. See, it's a very high maintenance plant, as I told you. This one died, and some customer bring it here. So I exchanged some other for her, and I'll treat this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rubbers, we have the white rubber, we have the green rubber, the yucca we have here.
What's the difference between the white rubber and the green?
The color difference.
It's just the leaves.
The color difference, yeah, but the green is more stronger. The white one, when you put it outdoor, it's probably gonna die sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the hanging plants. They're for decorations. This is my favorite plant, plumeria. Your favorite as well. So that's the ficus. That's the yucca. They're very old, very old. This be maybe that one is maybe 6 years with me.
Wow.
This one's 5 years. Actually, I had a 10-year plant, but it's not here. So this is my garden.
So this is it, huh?
We have soil out there. We have the cocoa peat I showed you. We have the compost, the normal fertilizer, fig, and yedoro also. So this is my garden.
This is your garden.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for inviting us into your home, into this beautiful garden. We truly appreciate it.